right, day number 2 of the NFL draft has come to a close. Rounds 2 and 3 have come and they have gone. And the Ohio State Buckeyes had another solid showing here on day 2 as they get 3 guys selected in the second and third round of the NFL draft, making their total 7 selected to this point in the NFL draft. Anthony Maglin here hanging out with you tonight on the Ohio State Buckeyes on SI YouTube channel. And if you've been following along, you subscribe to the channel or whatnot, I've been coming to you right after each pick with a little short video. Hopefully they've been hitting your feeds, but love coming to you guys tonight or at the end of each round. And we'll be here tomorrow afternoon as well to recap the entire draft. So a quick ask to everybody, whether you're watching on Twitter, you're watching here on YouTube, hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button. And if you could, hit that thumbs up, hit that like button. That really helps us out and keeps us moving forward, because we love doing stuff like this all the time. Also, you'll see on our ticker below, head over to our website, si.com/college/Ohio State here. So tonight, rounds 2 and 3 of the NFL draft saw a run on Buckeyes early on. The first one off the board was running back Quinshon Judkins. He goes at pick number 36 to the Cleveland Browns, and I think that pick is a really good one. Quinshon, you know, when you look at that running back backfield, I was certainly in the mindset that Travion was the better option out of the two. I think they're both fantastic. I think Travion gives a little bit more, and we're going to get to him here in a little bit. But Quinshon, on the other hand, we got the perfect introduction to him last season. Only got 1 year with the running back out of, I guess he was technically out of Ole Miss, came to Ohio State from Ole Miss, but did so after 2 really, really strong seasons. Now, some things we haven't really talked about much about Quinshon Judkins is that when he came to Ohio State, he came off of 2 straight back-to-back over 1,000-yard seasons, right? He had 1,500 yards in his freshman season at Ole Miss on 274 carries. He scored 16 times. He had 132 yards receiving. He was elusive. He was elite. That was his foray onto the scene of college football. Then in 2023, his sophomore year, he followed that up with an 1,100-yard season on 271 carries, finished with 15 touchdowns. So he goes 16 touchdowns his rookie year or his freshman year, 15 touchdowns his sophomore year. And then in 2024, he split carries primarily with Travion Henderson. He almost had 80 less carries than he did in years past. He only had 194 touches last year out of the backfield. Good for over 1,000 yards, 1,060 yards. It actually was his second best yards per attempt, which was pretty good at 5.5, and he finished with 14 touchdowns. Now, what I will say is that the lasting memory of Quinshon Judkins in a Buckeyes uniform is going to be that national championship game where he scored 3 separate times, 1 through the air, 2 on the ground, and really propelled Ohio State to that incredible victory. Now he goes to Cleveland, who, if you're in this in this video here, you're watching right along with us. There's a chance that you're a fan of the team up north. Well, not that team up north. The Cleveland Browns up I-71. They had a solid draft going. Their franchise is in a different spot, or in a weird spot, I would say. They had a solid draft going up until their last pick that happened just probably about an hour ago when they selected Dylan Gabriel. Now that you can go either way on that. It's probably going to be seen as a pretty bad pick. Too high in value there, but this isn't a Browns show. This is a Buckeyes show. The Quinshon Judkins pick, I think, is really good for them. He fits really what they want to do on offense from a run game perspective, and he's going to be a nice piece to take over for Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb in Cleveland, his best days are certainly behind him, and Quinshon's going to become that bell cow for the Cleveland Browns. So I think it's an awesome fit. For Quinshon, I think he's going to get his fair chance. And then I know the Browns, the problem is the Browns are in this weird state that next year they're just not going to be competitive. They're going to be a bad football team next season with the hopes of getting one of the top level quarterbacks, in the 2026 NFL draft. But, we have a full year until we really need to start worrying about all that. But I think Quinshon's a good piece for the short term, and then for the long term term there up in Cleveland. And then things didn't stop there. Quinshawn goes with the 36th overall pick, and then shortly thereafter, the New England Patriots take TreVeyon Henderson off the board with the 38th overall pick, and the 6th pick in the second round. And now this one, again, I said it once before. This pick to me is the one. I think TreVeyon is a special player. Not only is he incredible just as a runner, but the character is what really jumps off the charts to me when you're talking about TreVeyon Henderson. He's everything you want to bring into a locker room, and he's going to be a positive influence no matter what. And not only that, he's a special athlete. His freshman year, 2021, burst onto the scene with 1,200 yards rushing on 183 carries. He actually had 27 catches that year for 312 yards and 4 scores. So he burst onto the scene. He's this next guy up. Then his sophomore year ends in injury, and his 571 yards. His junior season shows promise, but finishes under 1,000 yards. And then last year is able to get over that 1,000-yard mark in just their last game, but needed 16 games to do so. Had 144 carries for 1,016 yards. Good for 10 touchdowns, 27 catches as well for 284 yards. It was very obvious early in the season last year that they were trying to conserve TreVeyon for the long run, not giving him a ton of run, not giving him a ton of carries, taking a lot of hits off of him, and making sure that he was going to be available for a long playoff run, which he was, and it proved to be the right decision as he was so impactful in the college football playoff. You think of the 2 big plays that really stand out. The one against the Oregon Ducks when he goes 66 yards up the Pasadena Rose Bowl sideline right in front of the Ducks faithful all the way to the crib. And then you think of the 75-yard screen pass that he hits on right before halftime against Texas. And really, you win that game by 14 points, but it was all pretty much because Jack Sawyer returned a 4th and goal all the way to the house. So that play was so big for the Buckeyes and for TreVeyon, and you can see his explosiveness. He was awesome there, and he joins a situation that I think is very positive. He's going to New England. They have a great young quarterback in Drake May with a ton of promise, and this is a group that's in their. I'm gonna say this is probably a bit dramatic, but in their Super Bowl window, right? They're in the window now where they can go. They have their quarterback on a rookie contract, and they are trying to surround him with as many weapons as possible. And TreVeyon Henderson is absolutely one of them. Expect him to be the running back one for this group, a team that needs it, a team that's trying to hungry for weapons, hungry for talent. I think that he could be a really nice piece out in New England. Joins former Ohio State assistant. You guys probably remember him. He was the quarterback's coach, but Riley Larkin out in Foxborough with the New England Patriots. Larkin went from Ohio State the day after the national championship, got hired by Mike Vrabel and Josh McDaniel, former John Carroll Blue Streak. Riley's my boy. We played football together. Pumped for him. He's out in New England, gets his boy TreVeyon to come with him. I think we got a screenshot of those two FaceTiming after the pick. So it was awesome to see there. So TreVeyon Henderson goes to the New England Patriots. And now it doesn't stop there. So first 6 picks of the second round go, 2 of them go Buckeyes, and then we have to wait just 7 more picks until the next one comes off the board. Now this one is a really awesome fit. JT Tuimoloau gets selected with I just clicked off of it, with the 13th pick in the second round, the 45th pick overall. Another top 50 guy gets selected by the Indianapolis Colts into a situation where I think is very positive for JTT. He goes to a group that, is looking still for that long-term solution at quarterback. Was it going to be Anthony Richardson? They brought in Daniel Jones. They got some options to figure it out. However, you always need to have that defense. You always need to be stout up front, and adding a guy like JTT is always a good option. This is a cat who just got better and better and better each and every year. And frankly, if he would have came out after this junior season in 2023, there's a strong possibility that he would have been up for a first-round pick or a high second-round pick, and he ends up being a high second-round pick. And he is able to add a national championship trophy to his name. His 4 seasons at Ohio State obviously became a legend, a legendary Buckeye. But his freshman year, just into mop-up duty, finished with 17 total tackles, 5 TFLs, 2.5 sacks on the year, one pass defense. Then his sophomore year kind of bursts onto the scene, plays in every game, has 28 tackles, 11 TFLs, 3.5 sacks. Actually had 2 interceptions, in that 2022 year. Actually had a pick 6, return 1 for a touchdown, and was really awesome. Kind of was all over the field there. Had 4 PBUs, 1 fumble recovery. So he was kind of had his name in the mix and kind of burst onto that scene as that guy. Junior year, again, really solid. 38 tackles on the year, 7 TFLs, just 5 sacks. And then last year, you kind of almost forget about it because that defensive line was so dominant that he finished the year with 12.5 sacks. I watched 95% of the snaps. The only ones that I missed were, one was because of a wedding I had to go to, and the others were because I had to get to the press room in the middle of the third quarter. That's the only snaps I would miss. And you just sit there and you're like, dang, he actually did have 12.5 sacks, which was pretty awesome for him, and had him. Ended up resulting in him being selected in the second round there. So after that, it was kind of a wait, right? You can't get through the second round. No other Buckeyes are selected. Then you get into the third round, and again, time's ticking. No other Buckeyes come off the board. And so now Ohio State, through 3 rounds, has 7 guys drafted. Now, it's a really solid number. They had 4 in the first round that all started with kind of in that later section of an Emeka Egbuka was the first one. Then you get Donovan Jackson. Then you get Josh Simmons as the final one. And the third one's kind of slipping my mind right now. I don't know why. I can't think of it. It was Emeka, Donovan Jackson. I'm missing the fourth one. It's slipping my mind right now. But regardless, Ohio State now has 7 guys who were selected Tyleik Williams to the Detroit Lions. That was a little bit of a shocker yesterday. So Ohio State's got 7 guys selected in the first 2 rounds of the NFL draft, and they are probably looking at 10 more tomorrow. You get to rounds 4, 5, 6. And 7 still on the board. You got Ty Hamilton in the middle, Jack Sawyer on the left side. You got quarterback Will Howard on the offensive side of the ball, center Seth McLaughlin. Then you go back to Cody Simon. You got Denzel Burke. You got Lathan Ransom, Jordan Hancock. You got a boatload of dudes who are still available out there that are going to make any franchise that selects them pretty damn happy to acquire a Buckeye, to bring a Buckeye into their room. So for tonight, it was both running backs. It was the duo of running backs. Quinshon Judkins to the Browns, Travion Henderson to the New England Patriots, and then JT Tuimoloau to the Indianapolis Colts. And the Buckeyes get to 7 guys selected so far in the 2025 NFL draft. We got so much more coverage for you as we get into day 3 tomorrow. Reminder, day 3 starts at noon tomorrow. The draft starts at noon and it flies. All right. So they cut out the time between picks and they roll that sucker right on through. So make sure you're watching, or if you're doing yard work, make sure you're listening in. And if you miss it all, guess what? We're going to have you covered here over on Ohio State Buckeyes on SI. So make sure you're subscribed. I'll be with you after every single pick. And then after the full day wraps, we'll be back for a full entire recap show looking at some of the best fits for our Ohio State Buckeyes. Outside of that, we're going to have so much written content for you coming tonight. I know the boys are all working damn hard to load up the site. It's right below me right here, si.com/college/Ohio State. You head over there. Go check out all of our written work. That, like I said, the fellows are working their tails off to get some fresh content up in there. I think I'm going to have a couple stories posted in the morning, so go check them out. There's a lot of good stuff being said about our Ohio State Buckeyes. So for rounds 2 and 3, Ohio State gets 3 guys, Q, Trey, and JT to wrap it out. Buckeyes have 7 guys drafted through the first 3 rounds. Looking for a massive day tomorrow. Thanks for jumping in and hanging out with me. We didn't quite get to midnight, but we got pretty close. Everyone gets some rest tonight, and we're back tomorrow for day 3 of the NFL draft, and we'll have you all covered here on the Ohio State Buckeyes on SI YouTube channel.